and welcome to Along the Lanes, my nitty, crafty, creative, foodie, travel to London-y, fun, slightly geeky vlog. This week I've got some great stuff for you. On Thursday I went for a little sneak around the YouTube offices and went to a video workshop. So I'll show you that in a moment. I have got the winners for the Random Acts of Kindness giveaway, which I'll be picking out, so listen out in case you're the winner. And we'll look at some of the crafty projects and the things that I've been working on recently. I've got some nice stuff to show you. And finally, we'll check out some of the amazing Battle Against Boring projects that you've contributed to our Ravelry thread. You have been making some gorgeous and creative and difficult and challenging stuff, and it's just been great to see. But first, if you haven't seen my recent videos, I went to Edinburgh for the Edinburgh Yarn Festival and I recorded 3 videos while I was there, and honestly I'm only just coming out of the buzz that was associated to being surrounded by so much amazing company, so much amazing yarn. So if you haven't seen those, just pause this, go watch those first and then come back, because you've just got to see how amazing and how wonderful that weekend was. So let's get started. Let's go to YouTube.
And 1, 2, 3.
Today I've made my way to London and I'm heading to the YouTube space where I'll be doing a workshop about creating better video, using lighting in better ways, and it's just a fun chance to come out to London as well. I was hoping to walk from King's Cross all the way to the YouTube office, but it turns out that the best stereotypical British weather has come out today. We've had amazing weather for a week, and today, well, it's raining, it's miserable. So thankfully I have finished my latest hat. It's my first proper brioche effort and I'm pretty happy with it. I feel like I look a little bit like a mushroom from Mario, but what can you do? At least I've finished it. I'm in Covent Garden now and I've got about half an hour, so time to head that way. Pair of shoes right there. Somebody went home shoeless. So we're taking a break. So we're taking a break from our workshop and we're just scavenging around the YouTube Space kitchen. Found some nice snacks. Gonna grab some coffee for survival. So we've got a pretty interesting mix. We've got comedians, we've got beauty video people, we've got some travel people. There's one girl who's doing videos about going to Disney and tips on how to get the best out of it. So far it's been great. We're making plenty of mistakes as we learn how to frame videos, how to use lighting, but so far I think it's all gonna come in handy later.
So we finished the workshop. Hey, my name's Elena and my channel is The Little Easy. I kind of do travel videos, although in the past I've basically done everything. But this was really good.
Our last little exercise, we had to go and set up the lights for an interview setup, and it was interesting.
Yeah, it wasn't quite right, but we had the general idea. So. We're all swapping channels. We all had a good time meeting everyone.
What's your channel?
My channel is Cinescapist TV and it's film reviews, so if you like movies.
And she's wearing a Star Wars t-shirt.
Star Wars is awesome!
And she was our model for the last exercise, sitting there being lit up for about like 15 minutes.
Mostly because I didn't want to work with the lights.
What's your channel? What did you think of the workshop?
I loved the workshop. It was awesome. My channel is Mr. Steve Austin, or Raised by the Beat. You just go there and just like get some dance moves. And
excellent.
stuff.
So Steve's a choreographer, so we'll have to go check that out.
A little bit.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thank you so much.
What do you guys do?
Hello.
We vlog our adventures to Disney.
Yeah.
And Disney World and Disneyland Paris.
What's your next trip?
Next trip will be Disneyland Paris in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I know, for her birthday.
Favorite ride?
Favorite ride? Oh,
Tower Hotel.
it will be Mount Everest.
Camera twins! What do you do? What did you think of the workshop?
I'm Tom Scott. I do science tech. Professional Tom, eyeline there, not there.
Stop looking at yourself.
I do science tech explaining videos, and it is high time I actually learn about proper lighting.
Thank you, Sam. And so ends an excellent workshop at YouTube. I think it's time for all of us to head home, or to the pub, and then on the way home. I'm back at King's Cross and I thought I'd stop by the platform 9 3/4 right there for the benefit of Katie of Inside Number 23, but there's a queue. I'm not waiting, so hello Katie. If you're not already familiar with Katie of Inside Number 23, she does an absolutely adorable podcast and she's just got such a lovely personality. And she's a huge Harry Potter fan, which is why I stopped by the by platform 9 3/4. Bless you. I just got home and it's now 9:30. And I had a wonderful time at the YouTube office this afternoon. It was great fun to have a snoop around the YouTube space, which is available to for creators to go and meet people and use the incredible setup that they've got there. Green screens, studio lights, editing suites, all sorts of stuff that you might need as you kind of evolve in your video production. And they run workshops like the one I attended today. I see there's a beautiful irony in the fact that today we discussed how to frame very well and how to light your subject well. And here I am lazily using my single studio light because I can't even be bothered to go get the other one. So it's Thursday night and I did some lovely knitting on the train. It was very relaxing. I had a couple of old ladies who were kind of giving me little smiles but didn't say hi, and I was wondering if they were just looking at the socks I was making. I only had the cuff done so far and my yarn management was terrible. All the stuff was all mixed up, tangled together, so it probably looked like I had no idea what I was doing. It was so busy on the train that I couldn't film, I couldn't have dinner either. So when I got back, I was sitting in the dark at the bus station. I chomped down my sushi and then took the final little bus journey home. So tomorrow I will finish this episode with the announcement of the winners of the Random Acts of Kindness. But I think my first job tomorrow morning is going to just have to be tidying my desk. Have you seen this absolute mess? Who keeps their desk like this? That's completely unacceptable. And now I'm gonna go put my pajamas on and do some relaxing knitting until bedtime. Now let's move on to works in progress and finished objects. So you might recall on my way to Edinburgh I was working on a bright pink hitchhiker which I just started. So first I'll show you the progress on this. Yep, I decided that I wasn't really feeling it and it wasn't really what I fancied working on, and I didn't fancy having yet another project making me feel a bit guilty that it wasn't getting done. So I just frogged it, and I'm sure I'll use this for something fun very soon, but instead I decided to finish my other travel project. So I always keep a simple shawl, something that I can easily take with me when I'm traveling, usually on wooden needles so that I can take them on a plane and really not be worried, but also just something simple, something that doesn't have too much complexity or looking at patterns or counting. And in this case I had a Trillion shawl, which is from the same designer as the hitchhiker I'd started. So the Trillion just has a simple edge with just a few holes. This hasn't been blocked yet, and this was out of Manos del Uruguay Alegría, I think. And it was such a simple project. You just do a little bit of fancy stuff on the edge and the rest is just garter. So it's nice and squishy, it's nice and cozy, and best of all, it's done, which means I can start another travel project. Don't know if I'll be a hitchhiker. Might choose something a bit different because I've made the hitchhiker before. So that's one of my finished objects. As you saw, I wore it to London. This is my first brioche project. So on the outside is some Old Maiden Aunt sport weight yarn, which I think is Corriedale. It's quite nice. It's not super soft, but I don't mind. And then on the inside is some leftovers from my Easy Knits Gemini top, which I like very much, but I kind of wish I'd made that top a smidge smaller, because as with a lot of woolen stuff, it kind of grows and grows and grows, and it kind of feels a little bit too big on me now, so I should have made a size smaller or played with sizing a little bit. So I very much like my Mario mushroom little hat, so I cheated a little bit. If you see, ribbing bottom, brioche middle, stockinette top, which means just for now I didn't have to learn how to do decreases in brioche, which just was a bit too complicated for my brain at that very moment. So one other finished object. That is the yarn I'll be giving away in a few minutes. Next is my white pine pullover, which I'd originally hoped to finish in time for Edinburgh Yarn Festival because I wanted to wear it there. To be honest, it was so toasty at Edinburgh Yarn Festival, there was no way I would have worn it at all. But also it's regressed a little bit. I had started on one of the sleeve caps and I decided that I just wasn't happy with the way the edge looked. So I'm not sure I've done picking up stitches in such a way before, and it just didn't look right. So I've pulled it out and I'll be calling on the help of my knowledgeable and experienced knitting friends at Knit Night, who will no doubt be able to give me some tips to just make it look much crisper and tidier around the shoulders. So I love how it's going. but I've had to take a little break while I figure out how I'm going to do the shoulders. I'm going to try and not let it languish too long, because I do have a terrible habit of getting to 90% of the way and then leaving pullovers and cardigans unfinished. I can think of at least 3 or 4 that are sitting in a bag, 3/4 done, and just a few things left to do. So this one, I will try my best to just finish it so that I can wear it, even though ironically we're heading to summer and I'm not going to need it quite as much, but hey, it'll be lovely when it's wearable. I've also been working on some socks. This is actually the second pair I've started. I started the first pair out of the Crush DK that I'd bought from Skein Queen, and my intention was to make socks for my husband Andrew. And I completely got the maths wrong, because when he tried them on they wouldn't even go over his heel, so I ended up deciding that I would continue them, but they would become socks for me. So out of guilt, I started another pair, which this time I know for sure will fit him. This is out of the Hawthorne Sport Weight from Knit Picks, which is kind of in blues and purples, and I think will suit him just great. I'm doing simple vanilla socks and not making it complicated at all, because it's nice to just have a simple pair of socks. The other one I am doing with a slip stitch, again fairly simple, but just a little bit more paying attention as I go. So it's nice, a few simple things on the go, and then my white pine as my little challenge just to get right. I've also been enjoying playing with my spindle once again. I've ordered, in fact, a couple of spindles from the adorable Louise from Spin City. They are glittery as anything, and I can't wait for those to arrive so I can show you. But in the meantime, this is a really nice spindle that I got from IST Crafts a few years ago, and I'm just spinning some pink blue-faced Leicester. And the reason I pulled this back out is somebody at my local knit night had a spindle and had some fibre, but had never really been able to get to grips with it and wanted a little bit of coaching. So we met at the pub, and yes, in the middle of the pub there were 3 of us playing with spindles and fibre and chatting about lovely spindly stuff. And funny enough, nobody cares. So I'm hoping to finish this fibre, and I'll probably ply it, because I don't trust myself to having done a very even job. This has been spun so far over quite a few years. It's not something I've started recently, that's for sure. So the middle of this cup probably dates from easily 2 years ago. So it'll be nice to finish it, clear it off, and go play with some more fibre. I ordered a bat of absolutely gorgeous stuff from Louise, which I can't wait to play with. So that should be here this week. And my final little project on the go is actually, I've been using my tiny scraps, and I mean anything from a foot to anything longer, and grabbing all of the little balls and little bits and bobs that I've got left from other projects, and I'll be making squares of various sizes. In here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different yarns already just in a small square, and I'll just mix and match everything that's between kind of sock weight and DK, and then just attach those squares together, and it'll make a completely insane wacky blanket. But I just thought it would be such a nice way to immortalize these projects, and I didn't really fancy the metered square blanket that a lot of people are making. It didn't appeal to me. I don't enjoy making those squares very much, so I thought this would be one fun way. And for the slightly longer pieces, I'll probably start a knitted Brio chevron blanket, which is one of the recent Stephen West patterns that I think just looks so fantastic. But I think that's going to be for slightly heavier weights, so kind of DK worsted Aran type weights. So many blankets ahead, and just kind of nice ways to use all the scraps that are otherwise just accumulating, because you finish a project and you might have 5-10 grams, and what do you do with that? Some people make socks, some people make blankets, and one of the Along the Lanes forum members has made something fantastic that I'll show you in a little bit. In terms of next projects, I've got this great idea, which will be for once I've finished my white pine though. I'm not starting another pullover before I finish this one. I want to make the Nika Vord from the Shetland Trader book by Gudrun Johnson, and I want to make the body of it in this Skein Queen voluptuous grey, which is called Stone. I've got plenty of this, but this is already one lovely 200 gram skein, with the colours immortalising my trip to Edinburgh Yarn Festival. So the colours I want to use for the yoke are these three. So there is some blacker yarns, Tamar DK, there is some Skein Queen in natural colour, and there's the very, very special to me Daughter of a Shepherd yarn from Rachel Atkinson, which is kind of a very dark brown. It's not quite black, I know it looks black on camera, but it's more like a deep, deep chocolate brown. So these colours, I may need another colour or two. I'm not sure how many colours are required for the yoke, or how many colours I can break it down to, because I may just simplify the colour work a little bit. So this is something I can't wait to work on. I think it's just going to look great, and it's going to feel very special as well. So that's on the cards for once I finish the other one. Now is the time for the Random Act of Kindness giveaway. You guys have been amazing. You've given so much in time, in energy, in goods that you passed on to somebody else. There's been lots of knitting for others, lots of teaching others to knit, lots of cooking for friends and family and strangers, and in particular, a lot of you gave things to the recent waves of refugees that have been entering various countries around the world. So keep on giving, keep on being awesome. You guys absolutely rock. So now, time to pick a winner. I have asked my friend Siri to help me pick a winner, so I'll ask for something between 1 and 142. Siri, pick a random number between 1 and 142.
70.
So now I have to count to 70. Give me a second. 6, 37, 38, 39, 40... 60. And we have a winner! So number 70 is Sherry Lawyer from somewhere in the US Midwest, who invited one of her elderly lonely neighbour down the street for coffee and a chat, because it's true. Often elderly people with no family nearby can find time gets a bit long, especially in winter where it's a little bit harder to get out, especially in regions that have lots of snow. So Sherry, you're awesome, and you win 2 skeins of Skein Queen and some Fripperies Bibelots stitch markers. Now for our second winner. Siri, pick a random number between 1 and 142.
The answer is 77.
77. So let's keep counting. And we have our second winner. And our winner actually has the same first name as the creator of the Take Heart book. So Fiona O'Day gets the Fiona Alice book. Awesome! So again, thank you to everyone who participated in the Random Acts of Kindness, and please don't let the end of this giveaway be the end of your Random Acts of Kindness. Just keep an eye out and do something nice just randomly for somebody. You have no idea how much that makes their day. In fact, one random act of kindness that wasn't so random, but that was absolutely lovely, had to be these. These little purple ribbons were handed out by the Stephen and Penelope stand at Edinburgh Yarn Festival. So that's Stephen and Penelope, as in Stephen West, who I think we've all seen on this show by now. And they are style awards. So it says, the bearer of this ribbon has been awarded a style award for awesomeness in knitwear. And it's signed Stephen and Penelope. And I have to give them a huge, huge thumbs up for having done that, because watching people at Edinburgh Yarn Festival just light up and swell with pride and excitement when they received those little ribbons, I think it's great to highlight everyone's awesome knitwear, and it's just an incredibly sweet way to do it. So definitely, I think they did a fantastic job with this. Talking about the Yarn Festival, it was just such a fantastic event to attend. I have never experienced anything quite like it, and there was not much of a chance to sit down and relax and have long conversations, but it was just such a great opportunity to meet loads of people, and to me it was very special being able to meet some of the knitwear designers and creators and fellow vloggers and podcasters who've definitely influenced my knitting over the years. People like Isolde, Felicity from Knitsonic, Rachel and her father's fleeces, Stephen West and his completely bonkers love of colours and textures. These are the people that just bring knitting to life so much more and just make crafts and creativity mean so much more. Also, fellow podcasters, bloggers, creators of content that we consume in one way or another. It was really brilliant to meet people like Nathan Sockmatician, Kate Heppel, Rachel, Louise, and my lovely little hostess, I urge you to say hi to these people when you see them. They might be tired, they might have been on their feet all day, and they might have a lot of people to talk to, but still, they're people, and they love hearing. I think they love, just as much as we love seeing their work, they love hearing that we're enjoying making what they've created. And finally, let's look at the battle against boring. You've all been adding some fantastic stuff to the thread. For those who aren't familiar, the idea of the battle against boring is, in 2016, challenge yourself in some way. It can be learning a whole new craft, it can be learning a new technique, it can be pushing yourself, choosing colour schemes that you normally wouldn't use, or just trying something that's out of your usual comfort zone. So we've got a thread and you can contribute to it, and I'll pick some winners further down the line. And I thought I'd highlight a few contributions to the battle against boring because you're amazing. So this piano girl posted that she just got a spinning wheel and it's absolutely lovely. It's a Spinolution Polywog, which I don't think I've seen in person anyway. And she shares what her first skein looked like. Fantastic, you've learned to spin. There's just so many wonderful things. And where's the one I was looking for? Ooh, we've got Chocolate Chip Biscuits by Ging Ging. Always good. Beautiful colour work from Linda Dawn 64, making that lovely hat with the sheep all around. I adore that one. And I've got to give a huge shout out to Weeping Wool. I have absolutely loved following the making of this particular cardigan. She made her own Molly Weasley cardigan, which basically means using tons and tons of scraps of colours and making a full-on cardigan, and just it looks great. It's completely bonkers, but I just love the look of it, and there must have been so many ends to weave in. I have much respect for you completing this project. And the final one goes to Dutch Girl 63, who I suppose yarn bombed the stop sign at the end of her street. That's very, very cute. I love it. So I'll post the link in the description. Be sure to add your contributions to the battle against boring, and I'll pick some winners in a little while. I still need to sort out some prizes for that. So that pretty much wraps it up for this week. If you've enjoyed the episode, be sure to give it a big thumbs up, and I'll see you next week. In the meantime, you can say hi on Twitter, where I'm Vero, on Ravelry and Instagram, where I'm That Canadian Girl, and of course in the Along the Lanes group on Ravelry. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Do we recognise Stephen?
Hello.
And wonderful